Tell me a little bit about, I guess, leadership, because after you have cash, people use it to scale by people. They build a team. What's it been like for you, as a founder of a company where your people are responsible, like, their families, their lives, it's down to you at the end of the day, as the captain of the ship. What kind of advice would you give to people on that leadership journey? Maybe they're founders, maybe they've raised money, maybe they've built a team. How do they manage? How do they coach? How do they inspire? How do they get the best out of their people? What would you say to that?
Yeah, so in my mind, the first 4 or 5 hires, you have a very low appetite for making the wrong decision.
Yeah.
A wrong decision at that stage could sink the company.
Absolutely. The core team, it has to be.
It has to be. And you want folks who you've worked with in the past. There's no surprises. So I think there's a separate question of how you bring them on the bus.
Yeah.
Right. And those are people where you're planting seeds 6 months, 12 months, 18 months before there is actually the time. And you keep in touch and you talk about developments and you share progress so that when money's in the bank and there's time to pull a trigger, there's still conversations to be had, but it's not hey, I want you to quit your 200K job at this big company and come join me at a startup, right? It's bringing them along from the ride early on. Once you go beyond that and you're looking at employee number 10 and 12, that's when, again, you're not in a position where you can hire an executive recruitment agency or any kind of agency because you don't have the money to spend on that.
Yeah.
And you're looking for people who truly buy into the vision.
Yes.
And ones who are in it for the actual ups and downs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of romanticized stories about startups, and people who are interested have their LinkedIn feed bombarded by these great founder success stories. But hey, there's a lot of ones that didn't make it. And I think things have changed in a big way from 2023. Rewind the clock 2 years and everybody wanted to work for a startup. Now boring is the new sexy and you get your steady paycheck. But in that hiring process, in my mind, there's a lot of self-selection.
Yeah.
And the advice I would give to founders when they're bringing on their let's say hires 6 through 12 is almost give them good reasons why they should not join. You need to understand where they are in life, what truly motivates them, their family stage, how they might cope with big downs, losses of momentum, losing clients, and understand whether they have that grit. And I think the reference calls, the network reputation, being able to validate and test all of that, again, really doing due diligence to the next level before you bring any of these employees on the bus.
I really like that, like almost telling people brutally about the challenges that they're going to face so they don't enter the door and think they're sold a pipe dream. They know what they're getting into.
That's exactly it. Yeah, we did something quite interesting.
Yeah.
In terms of the actual hiring process.
Okay.
Where we wrote a fairly personalized job description on LinkedIn, posted on LinkedIn.
Sure.
And we've done this a few times now, so I can put my hand up and say this worked.
Yeah.
Because we've had these strong 3-4 hires who've been with us over a year now. And what we did was we put up this job description and we got 300 applications. So whoa, I don't have time to go through 300 applications.
No.
So very quickly shortlisted to about 40, which met hey, they worked in a startup before, they are from our space across marketing, sales, customer success. And the next step in the interview process was we share a lot. We tell them exactly where we are as a company. We send them almost a case study of where we are. This is what the product looks like, a demo of the product.
Okay.
Here's how we're looking at our customers, and a specific couple of questions that they need to respond in a 2-minute video.
Interesting. That's very rare that people do that as an interview process. So you sent that to 40 people?
We sent that to 40 people.
How many people replied?
Yeah, that's the right question. So it was, hey, there were folks at the company who said, MG, we haven't given them any time. We haven't really spoken to them. This is now asking for homework. They were like, so there were definitely 25% of those who responded back with bugger off, MG. Like, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Which was great because those are the people that
You don't want them anyway.
you don't want them anyway.
Yeah.
But we got about a 60% response rate.
Wow, I did not expect that. That's great.
And what's remarkable is how quickly, with a 2-minute video recording, you can gauge chemistry.
Absolutely.
And you can tell, like, you know what, I just don't see myself ever being able to work with this person. Or yes, this person clicks. And we were able to shortlist from 24 to 6. And that's when we had 6 strong candidates and whittled that down. So it's a playbook now. That's how we do a lot of our hiring. But there was, and we definitely pissed off a few people, which we're okay with.
Yeah. I think that it's a really good thing to do because it shows two things. Firstly, you can tell 90% of the time if somebody's going to be a good fit for the company culturally, perhaps not technically, but culturally within those first couple of minutes, just based on communication, vibe, how you're getting on, etc., etc. So oftentimes the first stage, which is 60 minutes, after 5 minutes, the interview's been done. The final 55 minutes are a formality, really, so you don't look rude. So, having something that's very brief is great from a time perspective. But the second thing is that proactive attitude. If somebody's willing to do that, they obviously want to work for you. They've obviously done a little bit of research. They obviously know what they're getting into. Whereas if somebody had to record a 2-minute video for every single application, clearly it's just not going to work, right? But you separate yourself from everybody else by asking for something unique, if that makes sense.
Something unique, and also to the point you made, you want to get a good understanding of egos.
Oh, yeah.
Startups have no place for egos. So one of the other things that we did was, hey, there's no titles. There's no directors and VPs and SVPs. If you were a VP at your last company, that's great. But guess what? Over here, you're going to be just a function.
Sure.
And if you're looking for status, then you've come to the wrong place.
Yeah.